10 link building strategies that you probably didn't know. And in this video, I'm going to show you how you can scale link building for your website even if you are an absolute beginner or you have tried other link building strategies before and they didn't work, and now you're looking for more ways to build high quality backlinks for your clients. And so let me go to my screen right now and show you those 10 link building strategies. So here are the things that you're going to discover in this video. Number one is how filling the gap generate topics that your guest blog prospects won't resist. So I'll be showing you a system that can help you get unlimited content ideas to propose and to pitch to your target guest blog. And second is how to guarantee links even before creating the content. And have you ever wondered why marketers are too confident with their content? And the reason is this, is that they know exactly what they've created, that it has the potential to earn links once they promote it. And also we'll talk about the number one question you need to ask yourself when crafting an outreach email. And this is huge because if you ask this question before you write your outreach template, you know that it will significantly impact your response and conversion rates. And how to get publishers to link to you without begging. So instead of you reaching out to people who might link to your page, you might as well want to let them come to you and give you links. And without you even noticing that you even got those backlinks. How to find journalists who are looking to cover your stories without paying expensive PR tools like Haro or Help a Reporter Out. And it's a very simple platform wherein you only need is to have a list of phrases to search for. And there you'll see journalists, news writers, and publishers who could cover your story. And what your HR people do every day that you can use to create high quality links. And they use this to hire people, which is actually a web asset that is linkable in nature. And you probably don't know this, but this web asset can really help you earn high quality backlinks. The CM strategy to get backlinks from guest posts without you producing the external content. So you're hitting two birds with one stone here. What does it mean? You get free content and you get backlinks from other websites. So we'll discuss how will that be possible for you. The e-commerce strategy to build backlinks to many pages without paying bloggers. And marketers and SEO says that it's impossible to build links to many pages. So in this section, I'll show you that there is a way to get backlinks to your sales pages. How to acquire hundreds of links by banking on a dead page. And there's a saying that there is gold in trashes, and that's true. So I'll show you how to utilize a dead page to give you links you don't even deserve. And the ultra simple way to get is the links that most marketers ignore. And even big brands, enterprises miss this out. This link building strategy that gives you 50% minimum conversion rate in outreach emails, and I'll show you why is that possible. And to give you a bonus tip for staying in this video, I'll be giving you a free access to my link building blueprint. It is entitled The 5 Easy Steps to Conduct Broken Link Building ebook. And it's not just an ebook, but it's the exact blueprint that I use and I teach to my coaching clients to scale their link building as an agency. Content gap analysis and guest blogging. Have you ever received emails? People are pitching you for guest blog without them even having specific topics in mind. Or even if they sent you topics, they're mostly generic and they're not thinking about your audience. And this is what we want to avoid, right? And so the first step is to actually pitch topic ideas that your prospects audience actually need. And so you can use Ahrefs, which is an SEO tool that has this content gap feature. So what it does is that it helps you find keywords that you don't rank, but other websites are ranking and they're targeting those keywords. And so given we are actually using guest blogging, this thing for guest blogging purposes, so you want to look for keywords that your guest blog isn't ranking yet, but its competitors are ranking already. So now, once you pitch to that blog, you don't offer any generic topics, but rather a list of topics brainstormed from keywords that you know that have the tendency to rank. And so here's the good thing. The moment your topic was accepted, you submitted your guest content, and because it is targeted to a specific keyword, it now has the tendency to rank for its keyword. And so once it ranks, your guest post gains more visibility, it gains more eyeballs from the blog's target audience, and given you have a link from the guest post, you can receive constant referral traffic. And so that is content gap analysis in guest blogging. Resource guides for linkable audiences. And this is how you can actually guarantee links even before you create the content. So have you ever wondered why marketers are too confident with their content? And the reason is that they know exactly what they've created has the potential to earn links once they promote it. So linkable audience is a term coined by Garrett French, the founder of Citation Labs, which is also a good friend of mine. So he says that linkable audiences are audiences who belong to communities with high level academic, medical, and government interests. And so these audiences are more receptive to giving you backlinks, given that they want more resources, data, and references for their content. And so now what you want to do is to look for these linkable audiences. In fact, before you actually create the content, because you will create content to match and target a specific linkable audience. And so given you know these audiences can link to you, you can guarantee links even before you create the content. And so that's the good thing here. And so here are some linkable audiences. We have teachers, caregivers, parents, senior citizens, veterans, health condition sufferers, job seekers, unemployed, workers in the nonprofit sector, immigrants, people with disabilities, local communities, students, families of substance abusers, and many more. So the first step in using this link building strategy is to create a resource guide based on your chosen linkable audience. And so let's say your brand is targeting parents, for example. So you want to make sure you don't get too far from your target customers, by the way. And so you check first your target customers and see if any of the linkable audiences I've shared ring a bell to you. Are you getting this? And so if you're selling mattresses and beds, for example, you can create a guide to target parents. And so you can have the ultimate parent's guide to sleep for kids. Another example is to target people with PTSD, which is post traumatic stress disorder, and create a guide just for them. So PTSD and sleep problems guide as an example for content. And so now each guide you create is targeted to a specific audience. So the next thing you want to do is to get a list of the resource pages within your target audience. So if you're targeting people with PTSD, you want to look for resource guides that have a list of references about curing PTSD or helping people with such disorder. And so you can use a resource page prospecting spreadsheet, which I include in our broken link building blueprint. And so the next thing you may also want to do to add more backlink opportunities to your spreadsheet is to check similar content for more link opportunities. And so these are content, similar content. These are similar content that your competitors might have or other websites have published that talks about the same topic. And so in our given example, these are pages that talk about PTSD. These are guides that talk about PTSD. These are content that talks about PTSD. And so you find all of the pages that link to those similar content and add them to your backlink prospects in your link prospecting spreadsheet. And that's what we normally call as marketers and SEOs as reverse engineering, right? So it's like a competitor backlink analysis type of thing. And so make sure that you also organize your spreadsheet. So you can include columns for each detail about your backlink prospect, okay, the domain where that page is hosted, the footprint or the source of your research, page title, even the anchor text of these things. And so you have to make sure you organize all of your backlink prospects details. And so next you want to do is to find broken links using link miner. Okay, and the reason why you want to look for broken links on a resource page is that you want to use these broken links that you found on a resource page as your value proposition in your outreach. And so when you send an outreach email, you say that you found a broken link in the resource page and that you want to fix it by suggesting a replacement. And that replacement is your content. So they remove the broken link on their resource page and add a link to your content. And so when you send, okay, this outreach emails and all of these things, what you want to do is to always highlight or always make it easy for your backlink prospects to identify these broken links. And so that's the reason why we have to use a tool, which is Link Miner, okay, which is actually a tool by John Cooper of Point Blank SEO. And so that is the link building strategy using resource guides for linkable audiences. And so you choose first a linkable audience, you create a content piece around it, and you want to make sure that you also find resources pages that talk about your audience. You reach out to owners of these resource pages and let them know of any broken links they have. And that is the time wherein you will offer your content as replacements to those broken links. And then once you do that, you will get the links that you even don't deserve. Why should they care? And this is the number one question you need to ask yourself when crafting an outreach email. And this is huge because if you ask this question before you write your outreach template, you know that it will significantly impact your response and conversion rates. And so most people would start with copying and pasting outreach templates they saw on Google. And the thing is that these outreach copies don't really match to what they actually offer in the first place. And so they're missing the opportunities to highlight their offers and what those offers can benefit their target prospects. And so why should your prospects care? That's the basic question that we have. And so what is it in your content that people have to pay attention to? Is it something that they can distribute on their web properties like blogs or email lists wherein their audience can find value in it? And so I want you to highlight in your outreach pitch the answers to this question: what's in it for your backlink prospects? Source to content strategy. And this is where you get publishers to link to you without begging. Instead of you reaching out to people who might link to your page, you might as well want to let them come to you and give you backlinks without you even actually noticing that you even get those links. And so how can you apply this link building strategy? The first thing is to find source to site queries. And these are keywords, words, phrases that people are searching for when they are looking for more references to consider when they're actually creating the content. And so it's like when they're in their research phase for their content. And so normally they would go on Google and type in reference like keywords. So statistics, template, letters, and proposals. And so you want your content to be on the top spots when they search for their keywords. Because chances are, the moment your content ranks, your content will be picked as one of their references. And so they will include it in their content, giving you links from their pages. So those keywords are statistics, templates, letters, proposals. And so, for example, in the career space, bloggers who are writing about job hunting might go to Google and search for resume templates. And so you, as a content creator, you want to rank for those keywords because other content creators might use your resume template page in their content. And so you also want to make sure that those keywords have linking opportunities. And so to do that, you can use Mozbar, which helps you to quickly check on the search results the number of referring links to the pages ranking for the query. And so the reason why you have to do this is that you want to make sure that there's a linking potential in that keyword that you're targeting. Okay, and so the next thing really is to create the content. So create the content targeting the source to site query, whether that's a statistic again, template, or proposal. And so there are websites wherein you can actually gather some public data information. Websites like data.gov, data.worldbank.org, reddit.com slash r slash datasets, and also statista.com. And so now after you build the content, okay, targeting a specific query, you also want to promote it to gain backlinks. And the reason why is that you need some you need a few links to rank for the keyword you're targeting. So that's how you actually implement the entire source to site link building strategy. The first one is to find keywords content creators are searching for when they are researching for additional references for their content. And then you check using Mozbar to see if there are linking opportunities for that keyword. And then next is to create a content around the topic. And it could be a template, statistic, or proposal. Then you have to promote the content in order for you to gain a few links to rank for that keyword. How to find journalists who are looking to cover your stories without paying expensive PR tools like Harrow. And by the way, you can actually use Harrow or help a reporter out. There's nothing wrong about the platform, but there's a way to find journalists and publishers without you even going to Harrow. And it's a very simple platform where you only need is to have a list of phrases to search for, and then there you'll see journalists, news writers, and publishers who could cover your stories. That platform, guess what? Is your social media platform, Twitter. And yes, that's right, Twitter. And so on Twitter, people are posting what they need, what they're looking for. And so in most cases, journalists, news writers, and publishers are using their Twitter accounts for work. And specifically, if you're actually looking for brands and personalities who have interesting stories, they can actually cover in their websites. And so now what you want to do is to use specific queries to find this journalist. And so examples of keywords you can actually use for Twitter search are quote unquote looking to speak to, hashtag journal request, and quote unquote looking to interview, hashtag journal request. Is there anyone, quote unquote, expert, hashtag journal request. And quote unquote, can you recommend interview, hashtag journal request. And you can actually vary these keywords, like you can exclude the hashtag journal request. Now, if you notice, these are phrases that they naturally use when finding people they can actually interview. And so questions like, is there anyone or can you recommend? And so by using natural questions as part of your keywords, you'll get more searches when finding journalists to cover your story. Co-marketing. And co-marketing campaigns is actually a strategy or a principle wherein people will work with other brands to create a shared offer or a content, such as a product or service, wherein in a co-marketing partnership, both brands or both companies promote that offer and share the results of that promotion with each other. And so we can actually use this strategy to link building. Okay, so you're actually hitting two birds with one stone here. What does it mean? First is you get free content because you are partnering with another person or brand and you get them to create that content for you. And second is you get links from other websites using free content that you acquired. And so how's that possible? First is you find influencers, thought leaders, and experts in your industry. And so these are the people you should be interviewing for expert advice. Okay, so you want to create a list of those bloggers, publishers, and content creators in your space. So now, what you want to do is to send them emails. So you ask them questions, specific questions to get insights on a particular topic. And let's say you have secured a topic for a guest blog about improving daily output at work using Kanban. Let's say you are in the productivity space. Okay, so you send an email to a productivity expert or blogger asking if he or she has any insights on personal Kanban and productivity. Okay, and so the key here is to send him guiding questions. And so it's not the particular or typical roundup question like what is your actionable productivity tip? It's not like that. It's giving that person guiding questions or instructions. So examples like describe your typical workday. Okay, have you been able to use personal Kanban, or are you using physical or digital personal Kanban, or why is that so? And so the more you specify the questions, the better quality answers you can get. I say it again, that the more you specify the questions, the better quality answers you can get. And so next thing that you will do is to, once you receive their answers, is to include their answers as part of your content. Okay, so whether your content will be published on your blog or you want to use that content for your guest posts, meaning articles on other blogs. Okay, and so now the good thing here is this, it's actually a win-win for both of you and the person you interviewed. In fact, you get the content. Okay, that's the first one. You get free content. And once you use that as a guest post, you can actually get a link from the guest post pointing to your website. And you also link to the person's blog who actually contributed his answer. Because given that you have to credit his insights or contribution. And so that's actually how you use co-marketing as part of your link building campaign. It's one of the, I would say, the best link building strategies out there. And so first is you interview thought leaders in your space, you get their answers and include them in your content.
And so those are 5 link building strategies. And there are 5 more that I'll share with you. And at the end of this video, I'll show you how you can get free access to my broken link building blueprint that includes an ebook, flowchart, email templates, and the exact presentation I share with my consulting clients. And by the way, if you want to get notified of the latest videos, kindly subscribe and hit the bell notification to get quick updates. And so let me continue to the other 5 link building strategies.
There is one thing that HR people do every day that can help you generate high quality backlinks, and that is using job boards to hire people. No, you won't do the hiring here, but you will use HR assets online to be able to get backlinks to your website. And so here is how you can start. First is for you to find job boards list in your industry or in your local city. And there are resource pages that list down all of the available job sites and job boards within a local area or local city. And so, for instance, there is a job board list page for anyone looking for work, let's say Massachusetts, right? And so on that list, you'll see different career websites and specific job boards links from brands looking for hires. And so this link building strategy is actually most applicable to startups, especially tech companies, because there are a lot of job boards listed pages that you can find online. And so here are some keywords that you can use to find them. First is quote unquote job search and resources, then your local city. Next is employment, quote unquote, then you can use the advanced search operator in URL, colon, resources, then your local city. Also, you can actually use this quote unquote job hunting, resources, and then your local city. And then another search query is advanced search operator in URL, colon, careers, then your local city. Simply just replace the local city with the area of your choice. And so let's say you have a job board on your site. What you can do now is to actually offer your job board as an additional resource to their page or to whatever resource page you just prospected. And so when you do outreach, you simply make a suggestion for your resource page. And so you're not coming off as someone pushing them to link to you, because making a quick suggestion is actually more effective strategy than pushing these people to link to you. And so that's how you can actually use job boards as a link building strategy. The e-commerce strategy to build backlinks to many pages without paying bloggers. And it's one of the overlooked strategies when building links to online stores. And that is targeting where to buy pages. And where to buy pages are basically pages where people search for places to find products or services. And it includes lists of retailers, suppliers, affiliate partners, or anyone who distributes the product they're actually selling. And so in different industries, there are where to buy pages that you can find. In the health industry, for example, we have where to buy diabetes care products. In the transportation space, another industry is that we can find where to find transport options page, where people could just check the page and see what are the available options for traveling to and from the place. Now, the good thing here is that you can actually be as local specific as possible. So there are transport options page, Adelaide. Let's say you're in Australia, for example. And so also another thing is in the music industry. Okay, so we have middle school and college websites that have vendors list pages. So they have pages dedicated to sharing vendors of musical instruments with actual links pointing to each of their websites. And so what you want to do is to check this link opportunities, this where to buy pages in your industry or in your local city. And so you start first with knowing your current and potential partners. So who are your manufacturers? Who are your retailers? Who are your distributors? So make an inventory of these people, of these brands. And the thing here is that you also want to check if they have their own websites. So if they have also have their own where to buy pages. And to see that, you can actually use the advanced search operator, like the site colon domain of the website, then where to buy. Let's say, for example, site colon onlineshop.com, and then quote unquote where to buy. And then you'll see pages, or you'll see if the site has its own where to buy page. Next thing is you want to do is to also check the product categories, because the thing here is that you can actually get or capture or collect link opportunities specific to your product categories. And so let's say if you own a music online store, so you have product categories like violin, viola, double bass, and all of those musical instruments. And so what you want to do is to check on Google to see if there are where to buy pages for those product categories. And so how can you find those opportunities? As simple as you use queries, you use keywords. And so for example, you can actually use the classical instruments in URL links. Or what you want to do is not just target product categories, but also where to buy pages that link to products itself. So here are some keywords that you can use for that specific purpose. Number one is the where to buy, industry or product, online retailers, industry or product, online dealers, industry or product, find our products, quote unquote, industry or product, additional retailers, industry or product, internet resellers, industry or product, preferred retailers, industry or product. And so simply replace the industry or the product depending on your, of course, your space. And so you vary it on your partner type and your industry space. And so once you have this list, you're now ready to reach out to them and let them know that you distribute one of their products. And so let's say if you're a retailer or distributor, you can let them know that you're one of their retailers. Or you get them to include a link to your product or product category page if it is actually a resource page. And so that's how you use where to buy pages to your own advantage. How to acquire hundreds of links by banking on a dead page. So here you'll discover how to do inverted broken link building. So if you have never heard broken link building before, it's basically a strategy wherein the steps are number one is to create a resource page for a linkable audience. So linkable audiences could be students, parents, or job seekers. Step two is to find resource pages on the topic of your choice. So if you have a resource page for students, how to sleep better for students, as an example, you want to look for resource pages that can link to that page. So either the page covers anything about student tips or hacks. Okay, so you find resource pages on that topic. Step number three is to look for broken links on a page and see if there are links pointing to those broken links or pages. And then step number four, you get those existing links to broken pages and consider them as your backlink prospects. And then last step would be to reach out to website owners or people managing those broken pages and you suggest your resource guide as a replacement to their broken links. And so these five tips or five steps is what you normally do when you execute a typical broken link building strategy. Now, let me show you how you can be more effective doing this. And this may be an advanced technique, but it works pretty well if you want to maximize your efforts, your time, and your money. And so here are five steps. First one is to find broken pages. Broken pages you can recreate. And so if a broken page has tons of links, you know for sure that you will get links. And so you will actually find proof before you invest in creating content. And that's a good thing when you actually start with the end in mind. And so many times people would start with creating the content without really thinking if the topic of the content or the content itself has the potential to earn links as they promote it. And so here you can actually use Ahrefs Content Explorer to find content in your industry with backlinks to it. So as you use Content Explorer, you'll be able to check all of the topical pages that are available, and then you filter these pages by their HTTP status. So you can only just filter the results with 404 or broken pages. And so that leads us to step number two, which is to check the page linking domains. To check the page linking domains. And so again, you want to make sure that the page that you want to recreate has proof of links. And so you go and check out using Link Explorer, again using Ahrefs, and see how many referring domains are linking to that broken page. Okay, and so the next thing that you want to do is to check the page original version using Wayback Machine. So here you can actually use the archive.org for this one. And so when you plug in the page to Wayback Machine, you'll then see its different versions. And so here what you want to look is its latest version, maybe the broken at the moment you're checking it right now, but the latest version when it was still live. And so now you have the assurance that the topic or content you'll be creating has the potential to get backlinks. So here, the next thing you want to do here is to recreate or create an improved version of that broken page. So it's like reviving the dead page. So again, you check the old version of the page and see how you can actually recreate it in such a way that the information is more updated with more graphics and videos, if you can add those things. And so you also make sure that the new page is a more comprehensive one than its old broken version. And then lastly is to reach out to the linkers of the old page. And given that you know that there are existing links to the broken page, what you can just do now is to list them down in a spreadsheet and then send them outreach email suggesting your new content as a replacement to the broken link on their page. And so basically, that's how you do inverted broken link building. Podguesting. Podcasts are everywhere, and you see this type of learning auditory in almost any industry. So there are a lot of podcasts in almost any industry. And so what marketers and SEOs don't know is that they can actually use it as a web asset for link building. So how it goes. The first is to find blogs that host their own podcast. Okay, so you can find these blogs in podcasting directories like Spreaker, or simply check Google for any podcast directories. And you may also think of famous personalities or thought leaders in your industry who have their own podcasts. Okay, so you can use that when doing a Google search. Okay, and also you may want to search for people who've been interviewed so many times by podcast. And so you can actually prospect for podcast opportunities by personalities. And so you can do a search on Google for the name of the thought leader and then podcast. And then there you'll see all of the podcast interviews with that thought leader or that personality. So, for example, there is a famous thought leader in the parenting space who has been interviewed several times, like um, the name of Carolina King. And so, in that example, you find that this podcast we're guesting, and so you do a Google search for Carolina podcast. And so, the way to actually get links through podcast guesting is simply to be a guest on their shows. So, you start by creating a list of all of the podcasts in your industry. You make a spreadsheet of it so you can organize website names, contact person, podcast titles, and host of this podcast. And then you reach out to them and you offer yourself as a guest on their show. And so the key here is to securing a slot on their show by thinking of value first. Now, you don't just want to jump in and say you want to be a guest on their show. Normally, they won't accept that. You want to you don't just want to build your credibility by sharing why you deserve to be a guest, though that's the normal thing that we do, but you want to make sure that you offer topics you're capable of sharing to your or to their community. And you want to stand out in those topics by suggesting the ones you think you had experienced before, or you know their audience would find really great value in terms of whether it's an actionable strategy or it's a mindset that they have to break. So here, the moment you secure a slot and get interviewed by podcast hosts and podcast episode, and the moment the episode is released, normally there is a post published on their blog for that specific episode. And then below that podcast, you'll see transcripts, show notes with links to references, and there you will get a link pointing to your website. So that's how you use podguesting as one of your advantages and link building strategies. There is an ultra simple way to get easy links that most marketers ignore, and this is what we call the link reclamation. And basically, link reclamation is the process of identifying and fixing broken links on your website. And getting links from other publishers who mentioned your brand or content but didn't link to you. And so you find these mentions of your content, of your brand. And so one of the best ways to start with is to check your content pieces. And so any content you think will be cited by other publishers or content creators on their blogs and websites. And so for instance, if you have popularized a coin term, and let's say for example Brian Dean of Backlinko popularized the term skyscraper technique as an SEO strategy, which is basically just creating the most comprehensive content on a topic, and the reason it's called skyscraper. So you want to look for places, for blogs and websites where this particular coin term has been mentioned, and then ask people to credit you with natural backlinks from their own websites. So here you can use brand mentions to find a mention of a term or key phrase. So the thing here is it speeds up the process of finding blogs and websites that mention your coin term, for example. And so another link building strategy or link reclamation strategy, aside from leveraging coin terms, is by checking broken links of your competitors. And so the thing here is that you find pages where broken links of your competitors have been found. And then you'll reach out to the owner of the page and suggest your page, which is related to your competitor's page, as a replacement for that broken link of your competitor. And so again, you check pages with broken links of competitors. You see if you also have a page similar to that. And then you reach out to pages with broken links pointing to your competitors and ask them to link to you instead. And so the last technique, aside from these two link reclamation techniques, and so we have the reclaiming your lost backlinks. Now, question, have you ever had this experience wherein when you check one of your backlinks and so at least one, you saw that one link is nowhere to be found on the page, so it is considered as a lost backlink? And the thing here is that there are a lot of reasons why. Reasons like either the webmaster found another link which is more useful than your page, and then they remove your link, or there was a technical error on the end and they mistakenly remove your link. So you start with finding this lost backlinks. You can use Ahrefs and their lost backlinks features to find any lost backlinks of your website. So you can have it for the past 3 months as a range of date. Okay, so you will be able to find lost backlinks within 3 months, or you can increase the range of date like 5 or 7 months, depending on where you're at. So once you have a list of those lost backlinks, the next thing you want to do is to check why you lost the link. And now let's be honest, you can't really tell why you lost the backlink, not unless you reach out to the webmaster and ask about the reason. But there is a way to find at least a glimpse of that reason, and that is to use Wayback Machine, archive.org, to check two versions of the page. Now, the first version of the page is where your page is still included, or your link is still included. And the second version is where your backlink is lost already. And so by doing so, you can check what are the changes that happened between those two versions. Either the page was revamped and your link wasn't included anymore technically, or they've created a new category of topic where your link is no longer topically relevant. And so that's how you actually use link reclamation as one of your top link building strategies. So before you go, here is my free resource for you. It's the 5 easy steps to conduct broken link building ebook. It's not just an ebook, it's actually the blueprint of how we actually do or conduct broken link building as an agency. And so it shows you exactly how to execute this scalable strategy without you actually paying for links. And so here's the thing, even if you don't know what broken link building is, this is a good thing for you. Even if you've struggled with your time juggling SEO clients, even if you don't have a team actually dedicated just for link building, and even if you thought to yourself that broken link building really doesn't work for me, And so here's what you'll get and how it actually works. Now, the 5 easy steps is here. So the first step is to strategize. Second is to prospect. Third is to create. Fourth is to engage. And last is to win, which is actually to get the links. And this is the same process and strategy that I personally use to consistently build links and also help our consulting clients to get white hat backlinks to their websites. And it includes it serves whether they are in different industries. And not only you'll be getting an ebook, but also you'll receive this additional bonuses the moment you sign up. The first is this handy tool to 5 times your link prospecting process. And second, you also be receiving this bonus that illustrative decision tree on should you get the resource page or not. Okay, and also I'll be sharing with you the exact presentation that I use to train my consulting clients to conduct broken link building with their team. So the exact slides, the exact PDF, I'll be sharing that with you. So hopefully you get a copy of that, a copy of this blueprint, so you can check the link on the description.
Hopefully, this video here has given you actionable tactics to get you started with your link building campaign. And so let me know in the comments section below what your biggest takeaway is. And as always, be sure to smash the like button. See you in my next video.